So I wanted to just crack open a cold one and chat with you guys today. And I appreciate you guys tuning in and listening on this Saturday. I hope your day's going well and you had a great work week. Um, as I record this, I had a lot of things go through my mind. I just want to talk to you guys about scalpers and scalping and these overpriced, what we're paying, or some of us are paying for our collection nowadays. It's really ridiculous, guys, in my opinion. And of course, you've come here listening to my opinion, so I'm going to give you my opinion on this stuff. And I'm going to try to keep it as unnegative as possible. So I'm going to get this part out of the way first. I think that PvP and his cronies have injected a lot of us with this mentality that, well, the earlier we can get a figure, the better and as quick as possible. And it really has wrung the patience out of us, or at least some of us, subconsciously. And I think that's a bad habit to have, And really, this is going to be pretty random, off the top of my head discussion. Of course, we're always unscripted. But, I have bots in my collection that I've waited over 35 years to acquire, and they didn't go anywhere. If you understand what I'm saying, is they've always been out there in the market to purchase, and you can find good deals on figures, everywhere, and there's always options for the characters. But I digress. Let's go back and look at some of these recent these finds on eBay, for example, because eBay is a place you go to if you want to look at overpriced figures in general, or scalp. You can find good deals on there too, but in general, if something's just released, a Transformer, and it's on eBay, it's going to be overpriced. But with some of these, it's absolutely ridiculous, guys. And of course, I'm going to show you some of this stuff. If we go for the Legacy Cosmos, and this doesn't just apply to eBay, this applies to TF Source and a lot of places. They're just generally really overpriced, but where they are available are places like eBay, usually. And that's where the scalpers really love to dwell. But if you look at just the Cosmos, the recent Legacy Cosmos, he's like, buy it nows are like $70, $80, and this is a $25 figure. It's absolutely unacceptable. And I hope no one is, and I know I'm wrong on this, but I hope no one is actually taking them up and buying those figures at that price. It's ridiculous, guys. And my point is, if you want a representation of the character, there's always alternatives. Always. In every situation. And even if you just have to have that particular figure, which you don't, but if you did, and you keep telling yourself you did, and you just want it, you can still probably, have patience and go to the auctions and just try and get a good deal that way, because there's plenty of auctions that go on for that figure. But we see them going for $70, $80, buy it now. And that's really ridiculous. But then if you look on there, just browsing, I found a Generations one still sealed with Payload, his Target Master Partner, for like $25. And that's a great figure. It's IDW style, but it's solid and it looks fantastic. And that's just one example, guys. And I'll give you another one. Here's the Studio Series 86 Grimlock. If you missed out on that figure, it's a fantastic figure. But they're not going for what they once went for, because that's the natural course of things in our recent times. They just go up and up and up. Grimlock, the cheapest one I found on eBay, buy it now, is like $100, $110. But I got to thinking, if you're going to go and pay that high for him, if you missed out on him and you want him, you're going to spend about $100+. But thinking about it, I said, well, what's the option here if you don't want to pay that for him? Well, you know what I would do if I missed out on that figure is I would just say to hell with it, and I'd get the MP05, because it's an infinitely better figure, guys. And here, just browsing around again, I found the MP. That's a Kara version for about $150. So $40 more, and you can upgrade to the MP, which is, like I said, an infinitely better figure than the Studio Series one. Which I like the Studio Series 1. I own the Studio Series 1, and I'm happy to have it in my collection. But I've also owned MP05, and it's just better. So, and it's $40 more here. And how many years older is it than the Studio Series 1? like 10. It's just crazy, guys. I mean, and I can keep going and giving you guys examples of this. But my basic point is there's always alternatives. There's always options. We should never, ever indulge the scalpers at any time. You know, this evening, I just now ordered the Studio Series 86 Sludge. And I waited on him because I saw him on eBay and we were going to spend like $70 initially. He popped up on eBay for like $70 a month or so ago. And I said, no, that's too much. I don't want to pay that much for sludge. So we had a little patience. And sure enough, he came up on Amazon for like $52. I think it was $57 shipped to my locale. You know, after shipping, that's retail. I mean, and that's the perfect price to pay for it. But it's so sad, guys. And I'll give you another example. There's some recent, and this is not Transformers related, but it's figure, it's collecting related. You know, I love the Predator films, and I love the figures. I even used to collect the NECA line. But I stopped collecting the NECA line because NECA, in my opinion, has very terrible QC. But just last year, Lanyard has released this new line of Predator figures that I'm very impressed with. And they're like $10 a piece. And they've come out with a first wave last year, and they're coming out with a second wave this year. Well, on eBay, and these figures are just now starting to pop into Walmarts around the country. They haven't hit my locale yet, but they will, just like they'll hit yours and everyone else's. And they're $10 each, okay? But on eBay, you can get them all now for about $35 to $40 each because of the scalpers. And what the scalpers will do, they'll see it there for $10 at their locale, and they'll grab it up, and they'll ask quadruple the price for it. And there's no excuse for this, guys. And they do the same thing with Transformers. And the scalpers will create a false sense of shortage. Or sometimes it's a real shortage because they'll buy them up, all of them individually at a location. But either way, there's always options. A, there's patience. B, there's alternative versions of the character. Or there's C, even if you have to have a particular figure, as I said, search around, go to the auctions, trade for it, do anything, if you just have to have it and you can't have another version of the character. You know, find a way, but don't go to the scalpers. Please, never, ever do that. Because if we stop buying, if we stop overpaying, if they're sitting on that product, they're going to knock that shit off. It's just a fact, guys. But anyhow, I just want to get into that subject tonight while it was fresh in my mind. I actually had a bunch of other stuff I was going to talk about, but I just wanted to go over this. Let's stop overpaying for this stuff because it's supposed to be fun. And that kind of collecting, that kind of hobby, I don't want to be involved in. You know, and it's just not fun. And it's not even about the money. It's about the principle of the thing. You know, after selling my original G1 collection, I never thought I'd have the G1 Bludgeon again, or Iguanus, or any of these G1 figures that I've reacquired. But I was patient. And some of them, I pieced them together part by part because I found good deals on individual pieces. So a lot of times, just patience itself will do wonders. I know initially, like the Commander class Jetfire, you know, of course, he was like $80, like all Commander classes initially. But then Amazon had a sale on him, like a couple months after his release. And we got him for like $60, $50, something like that. It was crazy. Trypticon, the Titan's Return Trypticon, I think I paid like $60 or $80 for him a few years back. And that was a good while after his release. Or a couple years back, I actually got it. Sometimes it just takes a little patience. But like I said, even if you couldn't find, if you were after Cosmos, for example, he's the current one because he's the hot ticket item right now, I guess. I don't know. I'm not impressed with him. You guys know that. But even if he is the example, and even if you didn't like the Generations one, what about the one before that? What about the Legends Chug one? That one looked cool. I thought there was nothing wrong with that one. Well, say you couldn't find that or you didn't like that either. What about just the G1 figure? I mean, I know it's not Chug, but it was a great figure, and it's a classic character. And he was sturdy, and he was fun. And that's the bottom line. He was fun. But anyhow, I hope you guys, at least some of you, get what I'm trying to say. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. By the way, check out those links in the description below. That's going to take you to all kinds of cool things. Thanks for checking out Transformers Talk Raw this weekend, guys. We're going to be back on Monday. God bless, and till all are one. This podcast is made possible in part thanks to the amazing support of our patrons. Click the link to our Patreon in the description below if you'd like to help keep T-Talk Raw going strong. Thank you.